Hey, before we start the show, just wanted to let you know that No Inner Monologue is available on all your favorite podcast providers and now on YouTube. Don't forget to check us out on social media at No Inner Pod on Instagram and Twitter and No Inner Monologue on Facebook. Now, enjoy the show. Previously on No Inner Monologue.
John Leguizamo's from Bogota, Colombia. Hey everybody. Welcome
We're a
back.
classy podcast.
Exactly. Welcome back to No Inner Monologue. On our, I guess we're doing an in-depth look on each other's culture, learn a little bit about each other.
I'm confused. This doesn't sound like Riverdance.
It's not Michael Flatley, unfortunately. I don't think we'd get the rights for Lord of the Dance. We'll cover that in Tash's episode.
No, we're not.
We
I'm not Irish.
we
Oh,
need-
yeah, I am.
We
Yeah,
needed.
you actually might have Irish lineage.
I am.
We needed to get rights to the music we've been using.
We've said this many, many times, but we've never bothered to do such things. So,
Figaro.
Figaro.
Ask permission.
So,
Oh, God.
Tash, you chose this song
Yeah.
in, I guess, what we could call a celebration of each other's cultures. I think we're starting off with my culture,
You
which
said
I
I
am.
think.
I think,
Yeah, I think.
That's
Yes.
the key words.
Not to
in
get
that
confused
sentence.
with any of the other
I'm-
Italians in the room.
Well. Is there at least one of these pops that's an Italian-ish character, or no? I'm
Looking at the pop
screwed.
toys. I mean,
Nothing.
maybe Spider-Man Noir.
Is there like
Was
a,
there
The
an-
actor who played him
Is there any Italians in Star Wars?
not really.
This is what happens when you
well,
rent a set.
Chewbacca's hairy enough.
Yeah, but that could mean that could also mean he's Portuguese though.
That is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chewbacca's as hairy as the hairiest Italian woman, so it works.
Happy International Women's Day.
It was yesterday. I can,
was?
I
Oh.
can be terrible again today, I
That's
guess.
literally not what that.
Not how it works,
That's
eh?
not the goal of the thing.
That's not how it works.
Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm Joey Mangione.
Yes, our resident Irish, maybe Italian.
Possibly.
yet.
Actually,
We don't know
I blew Tash's mind this week when I told her Regis Philbin
I'm
is
glad
half
you said-
Italian.
I'm glad you said mind.
Yeah,
know, yeah.
I'm not Manuel.
I was like, what?
I know
key
she
word
I
did
know
you
she
use?
misses Manuel a lot, but
Gross.
I'm not gonna do that.
Oh,
Anyways,
all right. Yes, our resident Italian Irish fellow
yeah.
and the dude.
I
Today,
know I'm dressed
apparently.
like the dude.
Yeah.
I've got my Jeff Bridges from Big Lebowski look going on right now.
We have the faker of all injuries, Tash Morrison,
What do you mean?
You should be a professional
injured.
soccer player.
I
or
should, yeah.
or at least the next cast member of Empire.
I got
hear-
bleach.
I hear there's a
got
spot.
Dwayne, with her diving skills, she could possibly make it onto the Italian men's
well,
soccer team.
Actually,
Yeah.
I will post this thing this week, but I saw one of the most incredible dives this week during the Champions League game.
Ooh,
Two players
nice.
went head to head and tried to there's a move in so headbutting in soccer, as in life, is illegal.
Funny enough, the Italian national won a
World
World
Cup
Cup
on
on
a
a headbutt.
But these two guys went head to head, and one guy kind of headbutted the other guy,
Oh my god!
and the guy who got headbutt basically put his forehead to the other guy.
like
Basically,
they went forehead to forehead.
basically going like, I'm intimidating you kind of move,
Yeah.
which looks fucking stupid when you look at
It
it.
looks like they're gonna make out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
It really
the
does. It's
taller
gross.
the taller of the two guys didn't realize the referee was like right close to him, and maybe like 5 Mississippis into getting his headbutt, quote unquote, he holds his head and falls on the floor, and the referee's just looking at him like, I was right here.
yeah.
It's like
I saw
seriously, bro.
everything.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Why do they fake it so much?
You want to try and get an advantage in the game,
Yeah.
right?
But that's like not the way to do it.
Well. Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So you think Italians are liars?
Well, no.
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 Not at all.
Okay. Well, this has gone off to a good start.
What are you trying to say?
Figaro. That's all I'm trying to say.
So
And I am Dwayne Nerona.
yeah,
Oh, I'm Tash Morrison.
yeah.
Figaro.
We may have
Manny
show up. Or
Yeah,
not.
Manny's.
He told us that this would be a good time to get together, and we've been trying to get a hold of him.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on.
He went to Italy to do research.
He's eat, pray, loving.
I know, yeah.
He's doing his whole eat, pray, love in Italy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We told him to research pizza, and
Yeah, so if you were looking for your weekly intake of burping from off the Philippines,
yeah,
Or
shaving,
or shaving, or
yeah.
was sorry to have missed out, and you'll get a full refund after this.
We could just like play
Of
clips
nothing.
of Manny just saying "a," because I feel like that's how he interprets anything Italian.
Hey.
Pretty much. Yeah. And some part of that is not wrong, but
No, it's not wrong at all.
But the Fonz is Jewish, isn't he?
no.
Yes, Arthur Fonzarelli
Is Jewish?
is played by a Jewish actor,
but
Oh,
the
okay.
character
yes.
is Italian.
Yes.
The character is Italian. Okay.
Yes,
Henry Winkler is Jewish.
Yes.
The Fonz is Italian.
yes.
Okay.
But you could have Italian Jews. They're probably not a lot,
Not anymore.
but
Yeah.
because Jews
I mean,
are considered a race, but are really like a
to
religion.
get into
Yeah.
the dark part of Italian history, the Second World
God.
War was not good.
Yeah, we don't
We
talk
were
about
not
that.
very nice.
No.
It's a dark part of our
Yeah.
history.
Along, mind you, the Italian history in general is riddled with war and thieving and conniving evilness. But
Fun-
we're honest
what a
people.
fun podcast.
I know,
We
yeah.
are honest people. Ooh.
Okay, so
Dull.
let's look into the very tiny Italian part of your culture.
Yeah, it's a very, very tiny part. Of
Okay,
it.
so were you born in Italy?
I was not.
Okay.
I was born here in Toronto, Canada.
Ooh.
But
Happy birthday, Toronto! You just
Yes,
celebrated
we
185
Happy
years old.
birthday.
185.
Yeah,
Congrats to Toronto.
you're as
My-
cold as a witch's teeth right now, and
Yeah.
we love you still.
Cold as ice.
My parents were both born in southern Italy, so they're actually born in the same town and then met like years later after my dad immigrated here and he met my mom on holiday.
That's fucking bonkers.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? I think the story goes is my dad's hanging out on his aunt's balcony just on vacation or whatever and sees this redheaded girl riding her bike across town like 3 days straight. He finally just asks his aunt, hey, who's that girl on the bike? Because she was the only redhead in town.
And your aunt is just like, do you think I know every fucking person who comes on a bike? This is Italy. Fuck off.
The best part is she did know who it was.
That kind of story does not happen in Holland. You can't just be
Yes.
like, who's that chick on the bike?
Yeah. Well, specifically, she was the only redhead in town, so it's kind of easy. Who's the redhead on the bike, right?
That's
is
how
like-
they met.
That's exactly how they met.
Oh, that's
That's
adorable.
It is, isn't it?
Oh, that story's so much better till you find out who their adult son is.
Which one? My brother and I are both horrid.
I love your brother.
And you
one
don't
named
know him as well.
Giuseppe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If we want to drill down.
Yeah. If you really want to drill down to the deep of it.
Okay, so they meet in Italy. What's considered the southern part of Italy? For those
So-
of us who don't know.
Pretty much anything south of Naples and basically Italy's broken up in terms of like the north and south in terms of like what's at Rome.
Yeah.
So anything south of Rome is pretty much like as you get further and further south of Rome, it becomes more and more, I guess, almost poverty stricken. Unfortunately, it's a huge divide, like economically, between the northern provinces of the country as opposed to the southern and with the southern countries. Right, the southern countries are much more agriculturally driven.
Right.
Like, Naples is the highest metropolis, the largest metropolis in the south, but it's not even in the province where my family's from.
So what's the closest to the most what would be the big city that everyone knows that would be closest to where your family's from? Or actually, is your family like the big city from where?
My family's not from the big city from where, although there's connotations from the town we're from, much to the way things are going in this podcast today, I guess. I mean, you can't talk about Italian culture, which I'm unfortunately without talking about the dark side of it, which is the mafia, unfortunately.
Wait, the mafia is from Italy?
I know,
I thought he was
right?
going to say the Empire.
Somewhere just
You're not wrong.
somewhere Manny just came.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little town that my parents are from is one of the more notorious regions for that stuff running rampant in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So wait, so what is the closest big town?
The
to where
biggest
you guys are?
town that anybody would really know, like as far as anybody, would probably be Naples on the mainland,
Right.
and then is Messina a big town in Sicily? That's a ferry ride away, but anyways, like
Think of it in terms of the boot. Where?
oh, Sicily then
Is
the
it
whole
like-
province
is it like the
of
heel?
Sicily, like, and then so you know how basically in terms of the boot, my family's from where the toes are on the boot.
Cool. Now, where's George Clooney from?
George Clooney.
He lives in.
He lives in Italy, I
yeah.
guess. I don't know where.
Why do you think he lives in Italy though?
He loves Nespresso. Have you not seen
Yeah,
the
have you not
fucking
seen the
commercial?
fucking ads?
Wait, so hold on. You're from Sicily. That means you're related.
I'm not from Sicily,
Well,
though.
your family's close to...
Very close.
Does that mean you're related to Dorothy from the Golden Girls?
I could be.
Damn straight. I've learned everything I need to learn from this podcast.
I know.
I'm going home.
The little research I did on my actual lineage, I can equate to the fact that the original Mangionis are from Sicily, and
Right.
some did emigrate at one point to the actual mainland. So I do have some Sicilian lineage, which
So here's the
is
question
not a
for
big
you.
deal.
Is Mangione, if you were to say Mangione to Italian people, like not Italians here, but Italian people.
Are you asking what the meaning of it is?
No, would
Like the etymology?
No. But I figure by the time you're Irish got into it, you would not know. But would they know? Is your last name specific to a certain part of Italy? Like for me, I'm a Nerona, right? So people would be like,
Yeah. I get what you're
even
saying.
you're in India, people assume you're either from Goa or from this place called Mangalore because they had a big Portuguese influence,
Right, yeah.
So is Mangione like Smith or is Mangione like?
I wouldn't say it's like Smith. I think it is a little bit more regional in the terms of like it's much more, I guess, more southern
Right. So okay.
in
so
southern Italy than anything else.
yeah.
But like I'm not 100% sure on that. But as far as I've known, any other Mangione that I'm not related to that I have had a chance to meet
Yeah.
are all from the south of Italy. So
Actually, what is the Italian Smith? Jones. Because even like the friggin' soccer team doesn't have two people with the same name, right?
Yeah.
Baggio that happened once.
Was Baggio really? Okay.
The Dino and Roberto were not related.
Fuck! Imagine being
That's like the only time
That's unfortunate being
And-
the other Baggio.
being the other kiss on the team. Because that's what Baggio means.
Does your name mean anything since you brought it up?
Kind of means glutton.
Well, you know what? Truer fucking words have not been
I'll
said.
let you tell this story.
Yeah. So the day before I got married, we didn't do it. We were in Mexico, and because there's no open mouth kissing in Mexico, me and Joe
No,
just hung
we
out.
had to hang out. Unfortunately,
What the fuck?
That was me and Joe's motto going into my wedding.
No
No open mouth kissing in Mexico.
Okay.
we made each other. We made a pact.
Yeah. So we did it one time before we got on the plane, and we were good.
It was a promise. We made sure it just wasn't in Mexico. And when we got off the plane,
Well, of course, when you get
When
off
we
the
got
plane. That's
home.
just stupid not to do it when you get off the plane.
Somewhere Manny's getting real upset.
man, he's
It's
jealous.
getting real hard.
Gross.
Nobody noticed anything.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we
Unless
get to
you-
Mexico. So the day before my wedding, we basically, the whole thing is like you don't see your bride before the wedding. And in Goa, we have. I'll bring it up in my episode.
Yeah.
But we have a thing that we do before the day before the wedding. So generally, when you do that thing, you don't see your bride till the day of the wedding. So we did like our hotel had a Brazilian steakhouse, an all you can eat Brazilian steakhouse.
Oh,
so all the
yeah, it
boys
did.
decided we're gonna go there. And they give you like if you've ever been to one of those things, they give you a green card. They give you a card and one side's green and one side's red. And the idea being that when you're on green, they will come with some piece of meat, tell you what it is, put it on your plate. Yeah. And you keep the side green. Yeah. If you want to feed. And when you don't want it, you put it red and they just don't come up to you. Yeah. Well, apparently fucking both sides of Joe's cards were green. This fucker just like people were tapping out. He's taking food from other people's plates. Whoa. We're at an all inclusive. It's not even like it's not even like, if he was hungry he couldn't get food to survive. Oh, dude, the cow population of fucking Mexico went down a lot that day.
Oh my god.
I told Joe this yesterday, but I was like he's a bottomless pit.
Who mentioned? A friend of ours mentioned it when we were out last night that they wanted to go to one of these Brazilian steakhouses.
Well, the idea was that if you ever get engaged or that's where we're going to do the bachelor party. But I told Joe, I said, you're a bottomless pit. You'll eat fucking anything. And gout is definitely in your future.
I actually know a lot of Italian people that have gout.
Yeah, it's a big thing in the Philippines too.
There's a lot of meat in the diet.
You don't hear about a lot of veggies.
But funny enough, though, it's almost like it's just North American Italians. Well, in my experience going to Italy, right, the diet there was a lot more, I want to say plant-based.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Like, well, specifically with my family, us being farmers, and we didn't have any, like, cattle or anything on the farm. It was all that we grew, right?
Well, they must have hid the cattle knowing you were coming.
I know,
Are you eating that cow while it's alive? No.
It's funny. When my grandmother saw me, like when she came to visit from Italy, I was a little bit thinner back then, and she goes, "Ma, he's malnourished. He's not eating." And then she stayed 2 weeks with us, and she's like, "Oh my God, he's a bottomless. He doesn't stop. He doesn't stop."
God.
Yeah.
What have we done?
Like she says it to my mom, and mom's like, "Oh, you wait.
You wait." Yeah. She went back to Italy. She's like, "Hide all the cattle. He's coming."
Yeah.
The beast from the east is coming.
So yeah, it's a little bit more plant-based from my experience living with my family over there, just with being farmers and stuff, and a lot more.
Have you traveled sort of outside of your family's area when you were in the Philippines? When you were in the
in Italy?
Italy?
Yes, I have. I've been to Torino, Rome, and actually that's about it. I've been to Torino and Rome, and I've been to Sicily, and Sicily was interesting.
Yeah. Why?
It was a lot of fun. But it's even more like rural than where my family's from, strangely enough.
Right.
Right? Because my family is literally like walking distance. They live walking distance from a town, and like everything's within the little town and stuff like that. Right? Because it seems like with Italy, like Italy's just built in these little town pockets, and then you have this mountainous farms, like chestnut farms and all this stuff.
Oh shit!
Which is kind of crazy. Like sometimes in the summers you'll go and there's like fires being lit on the mountains and stuff, and that's just so they'll kill the grass up there to keep the goats and like the herds lower down the mountain so they don't run off.
Oh shit! Right.
Wow.
Right.
That's some Lord of the Rings shit.
Have you read The Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Was there a goat in Lord of the Rings?
No, there was.
If there was, they ate it.
Yeah.
There's like
I have the eating habits of a
They used
hobbit.
to have the goat herders that were at the top of the mountain, and they would like light fire.
That's just goat herding.
I mean, in fairness, I'm sure he got that because he looked outside the J.R.R. Tolkien looked outside and went, "Oh, that'd be good for the book."
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he made that up. I don't think some fucking.
He's brilliant.
Yeah.
Tolkien made it up, and the Italians were like, "Hey, that's a good idea. We're gonna do that." Yeah.
All this time, we've just been keeping a monster up there to eat.
We'll call it Mordor.
But yeah, just traveling through the south of Italy is pretty fun. My favorite of all my trips was when I did get to go to Torino.
Well, I wonder why.
Yeah, I'm a big Juventus FC supporter, and they play out of Torino. Unfortunately, I did not get to go see a game there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
So I've met Joe's dad in the last time he came back from Italy.
Yes.
And he was like
Last two times.
I've never seen a man so proud to brag to his children that he has been to the stadium before them.
And did not bring any of them.
So happy.
Like even my sister's a big like supporter, and he just rubs it in all three of our faces.
Man after my own heart.
Yeah.
But okay, so obviously like that you that's sort of your how do they okay I've always wondered this because you kind of see Italy and you kind of see things in the news and in pop culture and all
Right.
that. Is it? I mean, I'm sure most of it focuses on sort of the sexy side of Italy, right? The fashion
very much
houses,
the
art,
fashionista
all that
stuff and all that stuff, like especially northern Italy.
Right. So is it sort of a thing of like southern Italy is like fuck those guys, they're just elitists?
Yes.
Yeah.
If they could, would they build a wall?
Dwayne, I would elaborate on that, but unfortunately, you nailed it. It's just there's no more.
So there is a sort of divide between the
There's a
sort of top and the thing.
huge divide.
Okay.
There's a huge divide. I mean, if like in there's songs in Calabrese folk music. So Calabria being
that's what I want to know.
What's Calabria being the province that my family is from. So that's the southern point of the mainland.
Okay.
Right, and where you call a person from there Calabrese, and they have their own specific dialect and all that stuff.
And bread.
Right, and each region has its own bread. Each region has its own like specific like dishes and stuff like that. Like, for example, just looking at cured meats.
Yes.
Since we're going on meats, have you ever had Calabrese salami or anything like that?
No, I don't think I have.
Sounds good. I'm hungry.
That sounded it more inappropriate than it needed to. But anyways, Calabrese.
I'm pretty sure I saw a porn star named that.
Well, but traditionally it's a little bit more spicier.
Okay.
Southern food in Italy, like because it's from the southern Mediterranean, so it's a little bit warmer. And then as you get further north, the dishes are a little bit more heartier. So like I can't remember what region of Italy it is. I think it's like near Milan or even in Torino. They eat polenta, which is really just cornmeal.
Okay.
Right? And that's like one of the dishes they put together and all that stuff. So it's a little bit heartier up north.
Yeah.
Right? Because it is colder weather and all that stuff. Right. So there's a huge, like you could see like major differences within Italy just on the way the cuisine is, or as Manny would say it, cuisine. Cuisine.
What kind of pasta do you like?
I like that he went through all of that to talk about it. You're just like, I want to know about pasta.
Okay.
Next question's going to be about pizza, isn't it?
What do you want to know about pasta?
Okay, so I'm seeing here there's three types of pasta. There's dry pasta, fresh pasta, and filled pasta. Is that correct? Out of those, what is your favorite and why?
Fresh pasta.
Fresh pasta?
Nothing beats it. But here's the thing. All pasta is delicious. Mm-hmm. But the main thing with pasta is it's what you pair it with. Right? Okay. I mean, you're not going to eat just pasta that's not dressed. Right?
What
Even
does
a
that
pasta,
mean?
Like a sauce, something with it, right?
Okay.
You're not just going to boil pasta and just start eating it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I heard. Do Italians boil their pasta in milk?
I never heard of that, but I don't know.
Okay.
Never heard of that one.
Somebody tell me that.
Who told you that one?
I don't know. It wasn't Italian
though. The water, depending on how much starch is in the pasta, can look like milk.
Yeah. No, but I heard that they boil it in milk for a specific reason.
It could be for like one specific dish.
Yeah, maybe.
Right. Like I said, fresh pasta is the best just because it's got that fresh. And a lot of times when I've had fresh pasta, it's homemade. Mm-hmm. Like my mom will have taken an entire day out of her schedule just to do it because she wanted to or whatever, and just
yum.
Yeah, and just make it, and then like a lot of the main thing, like specifically with Italian cooking, and you'll look at it, and even if you research it too, and a lot of chefs will even say this, Italian cooking is about simplicity.
Yeah.
It's very simple ingredients you put together very well, right? For example, I was going to tell you this recipe for this one dish.
I know. I'm excited. Wait, let me write it down. Okay.
Okay, so
I mean, you don't need to.
you can record it. I mean, you can literally look it up on Google. It's actually
We're still here after the podcast.
Exactly.
is done.
It's ridiculously
Let me write it
simple,
down.
and
I'm so
obviously, the listener can take note of this if you don't know it already. So
Joey does cooking.
it's called pasta aglio olio.
Okay. How do you
All
spell
right.
that? Never mind. Anyway.
It translates to pasta with garlic and oil.
Okay.
So what you do
Is it just pasta with garlic and oil?
That's exactly what it is. That's all it is. You basically take a bunch of like olive oil, pour it in a pan, start sauteing chopped up garlic in it, on a low heat, obviously. Boil your pasta. Once your pasta's done, you mix it in, and there you go. You add in a little bit of breadcrumbs. You can add in like red pepper flakes, whatever you want. The thing with that, that's usually the base for most sauces anyways.
Yeah.
So if you can perfect that, you can start adding whatever you want to it, and it allows for the dish to get a lot more body to it, right? You get what I'm saying?
So, as in restaurants, as an Italian, what restaurants? I mean, we could talk about Toronto and area, Greater Toronto area, but what restaurants would you recommend?
Italian restaurants, eh?
Yeah.
His mom's kitchen.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it true? Like, it's better to go to an authentic, like go to somebody's house to get authentic Italian food than go to a restaurant?
Would you say that about Jamaican food?
Yeah, you're damn right. Okay,
So there you go. That answer. You just answered your own question.
The best thing you can ever do in life is take a fucking Italian to an Italian restaurant and just wait and just count the minutes till one of them goes, "No, this isn't like my mother's cooking."
Yeah. Yeah.
My nonna would never make it
people
like
like
this.
this.
Exactly.
You just have
I've come to the point in my life where I've understood that it's not that good, but I'll still have it sometimes anyways. Although you've caught me saying that once or twice at least.
I caught I think you and our other friend
Oh my
in
god.
Mexico. We went to
that was upsetting.
We
I
went-
couldn't even eat.
we went to an Italian restaurant in Mexico, and the Italians at the table were like flabbergasted, and I'm
Yeah.
like, they're all Mexican here, right?
Yeah, like
Well, no,
it's like,
I'll tell you what really upset me about it was
Well, set the story up.
yeah.
if you're gonna-
So we were in Mexico. It was actually after the wedding, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the day after my
It was the day after. So thank God I ate so much the night before.
wedding. 2 nights before. Yeah.
How
two
did you
nights
not have
before.
like the meat sweats? It's weird.
Oh,
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't.
It doesn't matter to this fucking.
Oh god.
It was so hot in Mexico, I wouldn't even notice.
Yeah. It's just sweat.
Yeah.
It's just the sweats.
One
at
of the
that
other
point.
cows in the neighborhood came over and thought they were mating with somebody.
Yeah.
So much cow pheromone coming off of it.
Ow, pheromone.
A cow actually swam in from the beach.
Yeah.
That's gross.
So, yeah, we went to this Italian restaurant the night after the wedding or whatever as a big group. And so I figured I'd get something simple. So I figured, how hard is it to fuck up pasta, right?
Oh, it's easy.
Boy, I was surprised.
Yeah.
They managed to do it, and gloriously, in my opinion anyways. Like,
Is it overcooked?
way overcooked.
Gross.
It was mushy. It was just like, it was very upsetting. Like, the sauce had no flavor.
Yeah.
And then I'm seeing like somebody ordered the ossobuco, and that looked amazing. And
What is the ossobuco?
ossobuco is like literally just a piece of beef with like a bone in there, and you eat the bone marrow.
Yes, that was me.
Yeah.
Me
And how was it?
It was fucking amazing.
Exactly. See, I fucked up thinking they would fuck up anything else.
Yeah.
I'm like, how hard could it be to fuck up pasta? And I was wrong.
Oh no, that meat.
They
was
figured
amazing.
that out.
I know. It was funny because you have to take into consideration. Like, I think with things like that, you really have to take into consideration.
Because I think both Daniela and I both ordered the pasta.
Daniela was the other Italian person.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Both ordered the pasta using the same thought process.
I'm
How
sure.
could you screw it up? It's not that hard. And we were wrong.
I love that girl, man. Her food when I go to her parties, it's good.
You get invited to her party?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't even get invited.
I went to her
Okay,
her
we're gonna knock
showers and stuff like that.
So let's
Anyway.
bring.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dash, for taking us out of the room.
Cookies, because I want to ask about cookies.
What about them?
Italians make very good cookies.
Oh, which is your favorite? I'll tell you my favorite after you say yours.
The cookie is the Maria. Sorry, I have a question. Is the Maria cookie an Italian cookie?
I don't know. What is the
I
Maria
would think
cookie?
that Maria. I would think that Maria.
Like those
is,
cookie tin things?
Yeah, like the regular Maria cookie. You
Nobody
know,
knows
it's
what
like
you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's like a
just-
digestive.
I'm gonna have to look this up because I don't know what you're talking about.
Is it in a yellow? Is it like in a yellow?
It comes in like different.
Because I
it's
feel
like
like
a
it's not pronounced Maria.
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 No. I think you're reading the I as. I think you're reading the L as an I.
Oh, is it Marla?
Well, then you're reading the E as an A.
I don't know.
Yeah, Joey, would this be the thing you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the Osobuco. You're gonna have to post. You're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
have to share that photo. Yeah. Oh, I was so mad. You mean those things?
Yeah, the Maria biscuit.
They're just like tea biscuits.
Yeah.
don't
I
think-
thought they were Italian.
I'm almost certain the brand you're talking about is Indian.
Really?
Yeah. You'll probably recognize it by the little Indian girl on the.
Her name's Maria.
I think it's Marley.
Marley.
Yeah. Yeah,
We-
probably.
I have to dispel this rumor.
What about biscotti
It's not a rumor if you started.
Biscotti, yum.
with the little almonds
Yeah,
and nuts
the
inside?
yeah, biscottis are very good.
Yeah.
I like the plain. They're plain ones.
Yes.
Yeah, I like the plain ones, and I like to dip it in tea.
Oh yeah. Oh, have you dipped it in an espresso?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the stuff right
that's
there.
good.
Yeah,
That's good, too.
A little bit of sugar in the espresso.
Can you
and-
talk about cappuccino?
What about the cappuccino?
Wow, she just
What do you
like
want to
got
know?
bored.
I know she
She
just
got
cut
bored
me
by the
off,
question
right?
you were asking her about her. Tash just wants you to paint food porn pictures for her.
I'm literally
please.
doing it with my
'cause
words.
Usually she's over here just making googly eyes at Manny, so it's a
Oh
little
yeah.
hard.
Well, speaking of Manny, one time I just happened. I don't know, for whatever reason, one day I wanted to make.
Speaking of Manny,
Oh, the fucking devil! His ears are burning. I just wanted to make eggplant parmesan, so Manny had to drop something off at my house or pick something up. I can't remember. No, he was picking something up before his trip to the Philippines, right? So this was fairly recent. And I was like, I want eggplant parmesan, so I'm making this. And he comes in, and he goes, "Well, you're a living stereotype." I'm like, dude, I'm just cooking.
This is like this is my life.
This coming from the guy who calls us and he's like, "You want to get ceviche?"
Yeah, that's what I mean, man.
Like Italian people eating Italian food is
It's
stereotype.
not a
Stereotype,
stereotype.
yeah.
He's really been trying to
It'd be
push
something
talking
if you.
about
It'd be
stereotypes
something.
too.
It'd be something if you walked into the room and you were burying a guy because he did not give you money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that would be straight up stereotypes.
Where's my money, man?
Yeah.
Where's my money?
By the way, I noticed that you just freshly ground the backyard. What's the deal with that?
Oh, freshly dug ground?
Yeah. Are you guys just installing something? Is that what that's what it is, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
We're redoing the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Wait,
That's it. That's
Who's
the
back
ticket.
there? Is it Manny?
Yeah, remember last week when you told us Manny owed you money? Is this what that is?
yeah, that's the
I
no,
gotta draw a
no,
new guy?
no. I mean
I'm gonna have to draw.
Manny's not
Yeah.
answering his phone, right? Is he answering? He's answering his phone, right?
No, apparently not.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe he's busy, I guess.
So
Okay, I wanted to ask you about coffee because coffee.
What about
is,
coffee?
Coffee is probably.
Yes, I
from-
drank it in my baby bottle. What's your point?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
all
but that's
right.
only because you're.
I mean,
That's
why are you
'cause
so defensive about that?
I'm not. I'm just letting you know. It's
that's
the
only,
facts.
yeah, the only reason he had that because it's Irish coffee.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
exactly. Which means there is alcohol in it, so that makes sense. There's my Irish right there.
Yeah, you're Irish. Okay. So I was watching. One thing people should watch if you want to learn about cultures is Conan Beyond Borders. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So
That's a pretty good show.
Yeah. So I watched the one where he went to Italy with Jordan Schlansky, who's like my hero. Anyway, but him and Jordan ended up going to this coffee shop, and they were so serious about making the espressos.
Sorry. Conan Without Borders.
Sorry, Conan Without Borders. So
Jordan
watch it.
Slansky is fucking uber fake Italian.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say Conan Within Borders?
I saw
Beyond
Conan
Borders.
Beyond Borders,
Oh,
whatever.
no, Beyond Borders. I think wasn't that the Anthony Bourdain show?
Oh, yeah. God rest his soul. He probably cooked really good Italian food.
Wow. I like that. That's what you took away from that.
You know what? I think he was more like as far as a chef though. I think he did more writing than he did actual cooking.
Yeah.
He was more of a writer.
Yeah, I like how just Dash's whole thing is like, oh, we lost a good one. He would have made good Italian food. Nothing for his family, him as a person, the art that he did. No. Oh, God. Where are we going to get biscotti now?
I know, yeah. He's going to make my biscotti.
He would have really made me, he wouldn't have undercooked the pasta.
Speaking of Italian chefs, sorry to jump to another thing. Do you guys happen to know who Antonio Carluccio is?
I mean, if there was ever a fucking character on The Sopranos,
It's a possibility. Okay,
that
so
would be it.
Antonio Carluccio and his I guess friend Gennaro Cataldo are two Italian chefs who are based in England.
Okay.
Who were the two main chefs who trained Jamie Oliver, because Jamie Oliver is an Italian. He cooks Italian food. So, anyways, they had this show called Two Greedy Italians. It's awesome, and they go throughout Italy just at different parts. The reason why I mention Antonio Carluccio because he is a dead ringer for my grandfather. I will pull up a photo and show you.
There are days where you are a dead ringer for your
exactly, right? But yeah, I mean, he looks exactly like my granddad, and it's uncanny.
We should do a 3-pick thing. You, your granddad, and
Antonio Carluccio? Yeah. Sure, that's a good idea, man.
I actually found out that there's 8 types of Italian coffees. There's probably more, but I found there's 8 types of Italian coffee.
Yeah. Tim Hortons, Starbucks,
Yeah,
Second
yeah.
Cup, Timothy's.
First one is cafe, which is just literally like an espresso shot. Then there's cappuccino, and then there's macchiato. What's a macchiato? Oh, a macchiato.
She's reading it. She's asking, "What's a macchiato?"
You're literally on the Wikipedia page for macchiato.
Yeah, macchiato is an espresso. If an espresso married a cappuccino.
Shut up, you face pussycat, and fammi un macchiato pronto.
Whoa.
That's Italian Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to see good, funny, hilarious Italian movies.
What's this word? Morocchino?
Morocchino.
Morocchino?
It means dark.
When you see 2 C's like that in any Italian word, is it a K?
No, CH is a K.
CH is a K. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Hence why the soccer player is pronounced Marchisio or Chiellini.
Cafe latte, that's my favorite.
So, okay, while Tash is just fucking getting
there's
off
a
on
Sharknado.
coffee.
Oh, no, I thought it said Sharknado. Shakerato.
Okay, we've learned that you can't read.
I think those are... Dude, there's literally a phonetic spelling right next to it.
Shakerato.
She's fucking looking stuff up. There's a phonetic spelling right next to it. And she's asking me how to pronounce it.
All right, can everybody be quiet for a minute? I need to give Tash a slow clap.
I want a Sharknado coffee.
Hey, Mambo, Italiano. Funny enough, that song, the most famous version, is sung by Rosemary Clooney. She is not Italian.
Didn't you tell me that earlier?
Yeah, I did, but I'm saying it on the show.
Twice.
I'm saying it on the show so the audience can hear it.
All right, you know what? I have a question.
Thank you, please.
Well, Tash just decided to bring up coffee so she could just badly read words in English.
Why is that?
Sharknado
How is that
coffee.
different from any other episode?
That's fair enough. Because usually Val's doing it.
Yeah.
Hey Val, we miss you, Val. So okay. So you know more. You obviously are more immersed in the southern side of Italy.
Yes.
You
'Cause of my
you were born here.
Yes.
Right. What would you say is the difference between Canadian Italians, Canadian Italians, because I don't want you to speak for the American Italians,
right?
A whole other fucking kettle of fish. But Canadian Italians and
Italians back home, family back home.
Italians from Italy.
ostentatiousness.
Can we say a word that Italians would know?
Yeah. What I mean by that is just for whatever reason, and I've noticed this, that Italians here in North America, mainly Canadian because it's from my experience, and I'm just saying strictly for like weddings and throwing like big family events, it's about who can outdo the other person in terms of like just grandeur, gaudiness, just insanity, right?
I went to an Italian wedding. It was the best
Yeah,
day of
what
my
was it
life.
like?
It was the best day of my life.
It was insane, right?
Yeah, it was the best day of my life.
Way too much food.
Way too much food.
Hold on, what is going on in your life?
It was the- it
We
was
need
the
to
best
do
day
a
of my
separate
life.
episode. You went to somebody else's wedding, and that was the best day of your life.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, she didn't get kicked
As
off.
in
She didn't
food-
get bounced off a bed at this wedding.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But
That's
as
a
in
callback to
food
last
wise, as in food wise, I mean, Dwayne was there. It was amazing. It was the most amazing wedding. Like so beautiful, everything, the arrangements, everything. It was just so beautiful, and like the way that the parties were going. Again, I went to the showers and stuff like that. There was just so much food. You didn't even know what to look at, what to take, and you wanted to just try everything. And they're so like, come back for more type of people. Like they don't want you to stop eating.
Well, no, it's a whole. From my experience being an Italian family, it's very family oriented and it's very open arms. So we're usually very welcoming. Now, what I meant by the big differences is like, for example, in Italy, a gigantic wedding like that doesn't really happen unless you're,
You're a giant family.
Like,
unless you're a fucking mobster.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. And even then, like, for example, like I know from my parents' wedding, their reception was in a little restaurant, and it was just, yes, everybody in town came, but it's just the fact that they knew everybody in town, and they all came there because it was like, oh, it's so and so's wedding, let's just go and hang out or whatever. Right? It's not about beating it's not about keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak.
Yeah.
I've found specifically with my experience here in Canada with my family, it's a lot of just trying to keep up with the Joneses for this stuff. And it's just one of the things about being Italian that really bugs me.
Yeah.
Is like, well, who cares what, so-and-so is doing? We're doing our own thing. Why are we worried about this?
Yeah. Why are we trying to keep up with the Del Pieros?
Exactly. That man is a legend.
I know he is.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's tough. I don't know how it is with your guys' culture. We'll probably go back to it.
I honestly feel, and I heard Russell Peters make a joke about this, and I'll touch about it on my episode, but I feel it's true for all cultures. We are all transplants of where we're from, right? So
yes,
when you go to the States, you're American. Like whether you're Italian, you're American first, and then everything after.
Yeah.
And here, people are very like, you ask somebody where they're from, like they could have been born here, their parents have been born here, their parents' parents are born here, and they're like, I'm Italian.
Yeah.
Like I made this joke,
and
once,
we know a few people that.
and
Yes.
I've made this joke with one of my Italian friends. We had gone to an event that was in Vaughan, which is a super Italian, has a big Italian population.
So many Italians.
Would you say Vaughan's north? Yeah, north of Toronto. Right?
It is
Yeah.
slightly north,
So,
Vaughan, Woodbridge
Maple,
area. That's
Woodbridge.
where
So
that's where they all moved from Little Italy.
Yeah.
So they moved it further north.
Yeah, so if you originally when you came to Canada, you would live in Little Italy in Toronto. Little Italy got expensive. People moved out
Yeah.
of it. We have a lot here in Mississauga. And then
Or
Vaughan
the Italians from Little Italy made their money and moved
To
to
Vaughan.
a much more expensive area, right?
So Vaughan, Woodbridge, Maple.
Yeah.
Even Google doesn't know which one of those three should be the main name.
Yeah.
And then you've got Mississauga and then some other places. But
Yeah.
that's sort of the main core. And she was talking to another Italian woman in that at our table. We were at a fundraiser, and we were talking. She was talking to her, and she goes, yeah, blah blah blah. My cousin married a Canadian, and I was like, where's your cousin from? And she's like, well, he's Italian. And I'm like, was he born here? Yes. So one Canadian were married another Canadian is what you're telling me? Is this story?
I'll honestly tell you this. I know this person that
Yeah.
you're speaking of, and
She's a sweetheart.
She is the sweetest, but
Yeah.
yeah, she's very Italian in that respect.
Well, that's the thing. Right?
I'm-
But I always say,
Sorry, I don't know how I am with that,
I don't know. I've not noticed it, but I see
think
it,
I think I try to hide it as
but
much as I can.
But it is an Italian thing, though. It is
Yeah.
sorry, it's not an Italian thing. It is a very like Canadian thing. You'll hear these people talk about. People talk about their culture. Like my entire family is Canadian now. We moved here from another country, but
Yes.
we're all Canadian. Well, with the exception of my brother, we're all Canadian. He came later, so
He's
we
the
all
worst.
applied for citizenship. We got it. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But like we in our minds, we're Indian. So when we're telling stories, I'm sure people who tell stories go, he married this Filipino girl when they're talking about me.
Yeah.
But really, like, I'm a Canadian dude who married a Canadian.
Yeah.
who married
Yeah.
another
Exactly.
Canadian girl.
It's all based off of past nationalism or just ethnicities.
And to
Right.
that point, the thing I was talking about, the Russell Peters thing, was he's like, people always talk about India, and when they talk about India, they always talk about, like your parents will tell you, like in India, this is the case, or this is the case. But really, or in Italy, it was, people in Italy don't have the things you have here in Canada.
yeah.
But like, their experiences are based on the Italy of when their family left. Like,
Yes.
you know
Oh,
what I mean?
God, yes.
So all the
So
Italians
much-
here kind of talk about Italy in this, like, it's a really hard, like, and it is, but like, you have to work really hard and blah, blah, blah. And we don't get the joys and the luxury that you people get over here in Canada. But really, they do.
Sometimes more so.
Sometimes more so.
They get 6 weeks vacation.
No, but I'm not just talking about that. Like, people talk about things like, you're lucky that you have like a cell phone and you have this and that. And
They
I
get
know,
a whole afternoon off every day.
I know, yeah.
yeah, they get siesta.
They're not working from 1 to 4 every day.
Yeah.
I can't understand why Europe's in a recession.
Yeah.
But,
No, like their lunch, because they go home early for
Yeah.
lunch because they have to make it. So they have to like do the pasta, then make the sauce. And so their lunch ends up being like 2.5, 3 hours. And
You
then
can't make sauce in under 2 hours. That's not how it works.
but again, like, see,
bottle it.
If
like,
you
do
want it to
something.
be
no.
good,
But-
it's got to be there all fucking day.
but to that point, people talk about Italy like that, and I'm sure
Yeah.
there are people who are our age in Italy going, or you could just go to the local McDonald's and get some
Which is
food.
also
Yeah.
the
Right?
truth.
But
I mean,
everyone
my
just-
dad went to McDonald's when he was there in the mall.
Yeah, but everyone talks about it. Everyone talks about their last experience.
Exactly.
there.
It
and
totally-
Then, and then
yeah.
that was it. Time stopped for them.
Yeah.
They don't have an iPhone.
Yeah.
To that point,
Yeah.
I was there one time, and
When was the last time you were there?
me, it was 2008 the last time I was there. My parents went last year with my brother and sister. So anyways,
They left you.
they left me with, that's when we had the guests of Mona and Lady.
Remember the dogs?
Yeah, the 2 dogs. Why are you scoffing at that?
Black people don't like dogs.
I'll explain why.
In the
Jamaican
Jamaica.
episode.
Lady really liked you. I think
I know.
she would sleep right next to you
I know.
every episode that
No, I'm
we
scoffing
did
at
with
you.
Oh, why? Because I gave them back?
Yeah.
Well, they're not my dogs.
Well,
You got to meet them because Joe's family correctly decided to leave him behind.
yeah.
So, anyways, I was there one time, and I'm speaking Italian, and one of my cousins goes to me. He says, "You speak like an old man." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "The things you say, like the terms, they're all like part of a dialect that doesn't technically exist anymore."
Does he know that you think you live in 1920 though?
1950. My
1950.
grandparents came here in 1950,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Does he know that you think that times were better during an existence that you weren't part of?
no, but like
Joey Fingers.
in regards to like that whole comment, it's because of that specifically.
Right.
Like the Italian I've learned is based off a dialect, and like even my aunts will say, "Wow, you speak the dialect very well."
Yeah.
unfortunately, the dialect is dying.
Well, yeah.
It's dying out for the proper language. I mean, I've gotten a little bit better at speaking the proper Italian
Yeah.
over time, and that's just because from learning how to read it and stuff like that, which still sometimes is a struggle. I feel like a third grader trying to read Tolkien.
Well, that's because you don't know about burning things.
Goats, burning grass to get the goats from the mountain.
Yeah.
That's my fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's crazy to think that the version of the language that I've been taught to speak from my grandparents is almost a non-existent language now.
But again, that's
Yeah.
also because you're not in it all the day. So
No,
you're
exactly,
learning it.
yeah.
You're learning it from 1950, right? Side
Yeah.
note: if Joey's name was Joey Fingers, it's only because he would eat the fingers afterwards.
Yep.
That's his vice.
No evidence.
Joey Fingers.
Or whatever the 1950s word for fingers. Joey Gams.
Joey Gams. Yeah. That's a cool name. It is.
That's it.
Joey Legs, though. That's what that
I know.
translates to.
I know.
You guys both fucked up.
Shut up, old man. I know Tash had stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
but,
What? Yeah.
You had stuff to talk about too.
No, I kept talking because I didn't have anything.
Which works. You did.
Roberto Benigni.
I know you had something you really wanted to talk about, Tash. So
I know.
So
talk about
talk about it.
Okay.
Because you
So-
went out of your way to make sure you did this research.
I know, I did. So I wanted to talk about music. One thing in Italy, some people don't know, because opera, which is what I'm going to be talking about.
I used to love her interviews.
Oh, we have to actually tell Manny. I'm talking about opera as in the music, not Oprah as in the person.
He's like, opera's not Italian.
Opera's not Italian.
I'm like, please explain.
Yeah, what an idiot.
You get a falsetto, and you get a falsetto.
Everybody gets a falsetto.
Now, ask
Figaro.
Tash, may I ask you why you love opera so much?
I love opera. I've loved opera from me being a little girl, and since I was a little girl, my grandfather used to play opera in the car when I was a child. So he used to say that when you play an opera song or play even like the symphonies of an opera in like your car, and back then there used to be cassette players or whatever in the car, so he'd pop one in and he would
How
tell
old
me.
do you think our
I know,
audience is?
yeah, I know. This is what a cassette player is.
You know, she's
Val.
telling you, old man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, old man.
Joey only remembers 8 tracks and when you used to have vinyl in the car.
Yeah,
Wait, you can have vinyl in the car?
Only if you're the truest of true hipsters.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
Get one of those. What were those things called? Those
Oh, the gramophones?
the gramophones.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Play it from a gramophone.
That's
The spaghetti western.
yeah.
A product of Italy.
A product of Italy. Oh,
What made
Dwayne
Clint
got
Eastwood's
it.
career?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dwayne did talk about film. Yes. So, my grandfather used to play opera songs, and then he would say, look outside and look at your environment while you listen to the song. And that's like stuck with me for a long time. I listened to a lot of opera.
But you can do that with any type of music.
I know, but specifically opera, he said like every song tells a story. And I know you could say every song tells a story, but if you specifically listen to an operatic song, the voices of for example, Luciano Pavarotti,
Ooh, I like how she threw the accent on that one.
Andrea Bocelli.
Tash, can you stop stealing Joe's culture?
Is this
I'm an
cultural
Irish,
This
appropriation?
is cultural appropriation,
Yeah,
Tash.
so this is, wow. Anyways, but he would say, like, listen to their voice and listen to the power of their voice and then watch your surroundings. And, like, legit, like, when I was younger, like, everything was animated. Things used to move when I would listen to opera.
Are you sure you're not taking drugs?
Yeah. And then I found out I was on Prozac.
I like how you told us this story of like my grandfather used to listen to opera in the car and he used to tell me, look at your surroundings and everything would move, and it was because you were in a fucking car.
Those antidepressants didn't work. Anyway,
Obviously they did.
That's because they were M&Ms, you moron.
He just gave you the yellow ones, so you thought they were
I know,
pills.
yeah. Why does this taste weird?
But so delicious.
I always thought M&M's tasted weird. I always like Smarties. Anyways,
I feel like that's the most Canadian thing you've ever said on this podcast.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Okay, is it just on a side note? Are Smarties Canadian? Because we used to get them in Dubai, and I never thought they were Canadian there.
No, I don't think they're in the U.S. They don't have them.
Okay,
there.
so they're like
Canadian.
a weird export of Canada.
It's like Cadbury.
Cadbury's English though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. I should know that. We'll find out more in my episode. Anyways, so you know the music that you heard in the beginning of this podcast? It's called Largo al Factotum, which is part of an opera, part of an aria from a play called The Barber of Seville. And it's Italian, and really it's like the guy goes Figaro, Figaro, Figaro. That's like my favorite thing in the world. So anytime I hear that song, I think of my grandfather, and that's like the
They did a whole bit of it on Seinfeld.
Yeah, yeah, they did. So watch Seinfeld if you don't know what I'm talking about.
I should find that clip.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one to repost.
Here I'm going to give you a little bit quick history. So the art form known as opera originated in Italy in the 16th and 17th century. So Joe, you would have been around during those times.
Yeah, probably. I am a time traveler.
Yeah, this is the part of the world you've traveled to.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, shut up, guys. So it comes from older traditions from medieval and Renaissance entertainment. So the word opera means work. Did you guys know that?
Oh, Tash.
I'll
You don't
pry
even
it,
know.
yep.
Tash doesn't even know the meaning of the word
So
work.
it's already.
Do you guys know what it means? That's why I'm asking you. Do you guys know what it means? Work? Work?
Yeah, for operation.
no.
Operare.
I know what twerk means. What is this work?
Yeah.
Work.
So usually an opera is divided into 2, 3, 4, or even 5 acts. So that song that I had played earlier, which I will play at the end, is actually from the first act of what's called an opera buffa, which is a comic opera. So it's supposed to be comedic opera. So it's supposed to be very lighthearted and funny. What he's singing about is, I forgot. So he's literally, so the term factotum, so it's called largo al factotum. So it refers to a general servant and comes from the Latin word, which means to do everything. So he's literally calling the servant to come do all his stuff. That's pretty much
What a hilarious comedy.
Yeah.
So what's his problem
So
with the city?
as much as I like slavery, that's why I like the song. No,
You know what?
anyways.
Actually, I've seen a commercial that's based on that opera. Have you seen the new Skip the Dishes one with
Yeah.
John Hamm?
Yeah.
That's exactly what that opera's about.
Yeah.
He's just talking about his smart home.
Yeah, exactly. So
Oh, John Hamm.
do you guys know what to do during an opera? Like, have you ever been to an opera?
Generally, no. I tend to look outside my car and just enjoy the world. I don't like.
So
being...
you're also on Prozac.
No, he's just doing that when he's driving.
Yeah.
You should really,
concentrate on the road.
concentrate on
Concentrate
driving.
on driving, yeah.
Not just staring at the world.
So if you're in an opera,
No.
if you're in an opera, if you're in an opera, yeah. If you're in an opera, at the end, you know how they do bravo. They bravo, bellissimo. Isn't that
Doesn't
what they say?
bellissimo mean like just good looking chick?
I don't know. What is
Bellissimo
bellissimo?
means beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
just
Yeah.
like-
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So after an opera,
But they only say that if it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after an opera,
We've
it's
never gotten that on
appropriate.
one of these.
Yeah, it's
We
appropriate
don't
to
have-
yell
we have one
bravo.
often.
You yell bravo for a man and brava for a woman.
Makes sense.
And if you want to
been
cheer
saying it
for
wrong.
2 or more singers, use the plural form, which is bravi. Bravi.
Ooh.
And then if the group
She's giving us
consists
an Italian language lesson, guys.
yeah. If the group
Joe's like, I don't like any of these newfangled words. In my day, there was just Bravo, and that's it.
Yeah.
We never had women on the stage.
Yeah. We never had women. Women should be.
It was
on
just
the
men
stage.
in dresses, the way it should be. Damn it! Happy International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Where's my Make Italy Great Again?
Yeah. Make Italy
Don't
great
joke.
again.
That's a movement.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Movement.
There's a neo-fascist movement, and it's growing there.
Yeah.
It's
There's a neo-fashion
upsetting.
movement going all over the world.
It
The
is
amount of
very
people,
upsetting.
The amount of people I saw yesterday with going, everyone was like, "Happy International Women's Day," and they're like, "Are you going to say that for Men's Day?" And then it just became
Like became like a
it just
big
became
thing.
a thing.
Isn't that
Yeah.
every day?
That's what a bunch of other people said, and apparently it's November 19th. That's Men's Day, apparently. Yeah. So in case you didn't get enough plaudits in life,
You can have another day.
you get
Yeah,
another
it's
day.
yeah.
I mean, we
Bravo.
get a lot of days.
Yeah.
We got a lot of nice things. Okay.
I mean,
Let-
you more than me, but still. Okay, Dash.
Okay. Yes.
Continue with telling us words.
More about the opera. Okay, did you know that the march "Here Comes the Bride" is from an opera where the marriage is almost an immediate failure, and the piece is sung just before several wedding guests are murdered?
So, like the Red Wedding.
Yeah, pretty much, but that's where "Here Comes the Bride" comes from.
Yeah, I don't think we should use that
So
song.
I don't know if you should use that
a
song.
bad
in
idea.
my
You
eyes.
both have the choice. I had it playing at my wedding.
Yeah.
I survived.
Yeah.
Just some quick facts.
The cows didn't, but I
like,
did.
Just some more quick facts here. In 1991, opera singer Placido Domingo received.
He's one of the 3 tenors, right?
I don't know.
think
Yeah.
so.
He received an 80-minute applause after his performance of Othello in Vienna.
That's excessive.
80 minutes?
You know who got pissed off
Hold
at
on,
that?
hold on. He played Othello.
Yeah. A performance of Othello.
What's his ethnicity?
Placido Domingo. He's an opera singer. I don't know
Okay,
if
but-
he's Italian.
No. I mean, because Othello's a black character.
Is it?
Did you not
On
read
the
Oth-
next.
Did you not read Othello?
Again,
No.
have you met Tash? Have
I
you
know.
learned anything Tash has said in this podcast?
Does it look like I'm a big fan of Shakespeare?
Yeah. did you
Yes,
see her-
actually,
yeah,
it does.
Did you hear her read?
Yeah, I know. I called a coffee Sharknado.
Oh yeah. This dude's 100% Othello.
Yeah.
That's him.
Ooh,
Yeah.
boy.
Here's the thing. Well, maybe it might be different how they do it. I mean, do they act it out? And well, yeah, they do act it. Well, did he write? Maybe he wrote it.
Some operas don't
And
even
sung,
have.
but didn't.
Or was he the
Well, we got to do
The
some research on this
maestro.
one. Yeah, he might have been the maestro. But more importantly, more importantly,
maestro?
you know who gets most annoyed at a fucking 80-minute applause? The poor bastards who have to clean the opera hall when it's done.
like-
Yeah, because they want to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever see those guys after you stay like to watch the end credits?
Yeah.
At a fucking Marvel movie? They're so pissed.
Yeah.
They're like standing there looking at their
It's
fucking
like it's
watches.
fucking 2 a.m.
Are you
Get
kidding
the
me?
fuck
Fuck
out of
outta
here.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just going to see a fucking raccoon show up, say 2 words, and leave.
Leave, yeah.
Get the fuck
Get
out.
Yeah.
It's just Captain Marvel's going to show up and say, "Hi, I'm Brie Larson,"
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
it.
80 minutes.
That's
Who the fuck
excessive.
is going to clap for 80 minutes? People at soccer games don't clap for 80 minutes, and that's a 90-minute game.
Yeah, I know. But he must have done a really good job.
And,
He must
and-
have been-
And they're drunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're drunk.
I wonder if he was just dressed up as a black person the whole time, and they're like, well, I was fooled.
Yeah. That's why the plus
Yeah.
continued.
They're like, holy
oh,
shit.
So-
Malissimo. Bravo. Bravo.
Speaking of things that are terrible, the one of my relatives that you know, Dwayne,
Yes.
and I'll let you guess whom.
Moss?
He's no.
Oh, okay.
Our favorite person. Anyways, the first time he was in Italy and he met a black person who spoke Italian, his jaw dropped. And I heard this story. I'm like,
Is it because
how is this surprising?
Is it because the black person punched him in the jaw?
Yeah.
It should have been,
Yeah.
but
This
It
is
wasn't.
this is Joey's uncle who is if Make America Great Again could have become a person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Totally.
Yes.
And yeah, he was dumbfounded at that, a white person could speak Italian. And I'm like,
Hell is wrong with him.
really,
so
dude?
much. That's
Like-
amazing.
It's not hard to learn, to be honest.
yeah.
It's
Yeah. I should introduce him to an ex-girlfriend of mine. She knew how to speak Italian.
it's one of those phonetic
Well, girlfriend's a
languages.
strong word.
I mean,
Yeah.
with Italian, it's literally said how it's spelled.
Yeah. Well, no, apparently not. You've met Tash.
We love you, Tash.
Yeah.
I just want to give you one last quick fact,
Okay,
which is
okay,
not
okay.
about an Italian person.
Which
That's
is perfect for this
upsetting.
podcast.
Yes,
Great
but
for this episode.
But did you know that Jackie Chan is actually a classically trained opera singer?
I wouldn't doubt that.
Whoa.
He's amazing.
Actually, you know who, about that opera thing? And Anna will love me telling the story, but the dude from Savage Garden, Darren.
I'll be your dream, I'll be your
Yes,
wish,
that
I'll
would be the
your
guy.
fantasy. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That was the 90s. Whoa, sorry, guys.
Who sang that?
Savage Garden.
Yeah, let's keep it that way.
Ooh, shots
Well played.
fired, bro.
No, but that dude who
Figaro.
sings a lot of his songs in a very high pitch, actually sings opera, and I have seen him sing it, and it is wild because he has a very low
Like a low voice.
voice when he
Like
sings
a-
opera.
like a
It doesn't even
baritone.
sound like it's him.
Really?
That's
Yeah, it's
amazing.
wild. So he's actually got quite the octave.
He
Yeah.
must be classically trained
Well,
as well.
Freddie
wonder if we
Mercury
could
could
find-
sing opera.
Yeah.
He had an opera album.
Yeah.
He toured with an opera singer, and she was amazed at his ability to just go from like being a rock singer
Yeah.
to go from being a rock singer to being an opera singer so flawlessly. She was just amazed by that.
And then eventually he became Mr. Robot.
Yes, that's
Yes.
not wrong.
That's exactly what happened.
Or some would say Mr. Robot became him.
No,
Ooh.
no, that doesn't. The timeline doesn't match. Okay.
Yeah, the timeline doesn't match.
I think that's what cost them Best Picture.
yeah.
Because they would have cleaned up. They would have swept. They would have swept.
They would have swept much like they swept Freddie Mercury's history under the rug.
A lot of it.
On that note,
Yeah.
Ouch.
Actually, you know what I realized? Bohemian Rhapsody is the true Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline. It's just all over the place. You just have to figure it out for yourself.
so that's why it was so well received.
yeah, that's so true.
Does anybody else have any? Well, actually, you get the final word on this.
Yeah. This has really been fun, actually.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Are you going to do an Ireland episode so we can talk about that, or
Yeah.
are you and Tash going to do that as one? Because
We could do that
Yeah.
together, sure.
Yeah.
I'll bring in a real live leprechaun. And
Cool. I don't know why.
I was just being offensive.
Yeah.
Speaking of a real Italian Irish, and I don't know if I said this in the episode yet or not, but is Regis Philbin. His mother was Italian, and his dad was Irish.
Are you Regis Philbin as a time traveler?
I know, yeah.
I'm out of control.
I'm out of control.
Actually, there's an episode of How I Met Your Mother that Regis Philbin guest stars in, and he's fucking amazing. In
Oh,
it.
dude, that guy is
That guy, has anybody
honest to goodness amazing.
has anybody done so much with just playing themselves in everything?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Regis Philbin in anything.
I think the
That's
closest
playing
is
something
I think
else.
the
Playing like
closest
John.
is Jerry
Yeah.
Lewis,
Yeah.
and he even
Yeah.
had characters.
I just want to I want to throw one thing out at the end of this podcast, which is a bit of a downer, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we all are big fucking, if you listen to us consistently, you know we're big children of the 90s. And this fucking week was the fucking worst for if you were a child of the 90s.
Worst.
Between Luke Perry,
Yep.
Keith Flint, fucking hearing about Alex Trebek.
Yeah,
It's like, couldn't have gotten any worse.
It couldn't,
Yeah.
and then Mona from fucking Who's the
The
Boss.
Oh.
she was the boss.
She
damn
was
it.
100%.
She was the boss. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah. So, rest in power to the three that passed away, unfortunately.
Yes.
And good luck, Alex Trebek, man.
Keep
Anybody
fighting,
can do it.
brother. We're
Anybody
with
can
you.
do it, we can do it. You can do it.
Actually, to go on digging on a little bit more business stuff, I think Manny has decided what charity he wants to
That's true.
donate to.
Yes.
And
He's not
Manny's-
here to make the announcement.
He's not here to make the announcement. We can do it for him.
Yeah.
I believe it was for the walk for his nephew.
Yes, it's an autism charity.
Yeah.
Manny, it affects Manny's family, so he decided to do that, which is cool. We're
Yeah,
all
it's-
down for
we're
that.
really happy.
Can you imagine if we were all like, no,
No, yeah.
the money goes to something else.
Yeah.
So we will make we should really figure out how much money. Oh my god, how much money we're gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, Tash has to put pretty much like her future children's
Yeah.
university account.
Yeah.
Tash is going to put
Yeah.
what the equivalent to opera
But
tickets
it's
are.
well worth it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if you are, a parent right now in our country, in our province, there is a lot.
That's another
there's a
issue
lot-
too.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on with taking away funding from kids with autism. And my only thing is, if you have a problem with this, which everybody should, speak out against it, write your MP, write to somebody, and your voice will get heard.
Sorry
So,
to interrupt, Tash, but the charity we will be donating those funds to is the Autism Speaks Canada Walk.
We'll put a link on our.
We'll
our
put a
pages.
link on our stuff. Please
donate.
donate,
This
show
is-
your support, and yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to hit. I think their goal is to hit $1,000. They're at they're at 59% right now. So anything we can add, we will add. We as a team will add because we had to be nice to Manny for a month.
I know.
The worst
Oh,
of
boy.
times. But if you guys want to do that, put some money aside
Isn't
as well.
it his
That'd be great.
birthday coming up?
Next month, and it's Tash's as well. So we'll go to that. We'll let you know when those are. So if you really want to hack into their website, you can.
Yeah.
Anyways, we've learned a lot about Italy, and we're gonna end this here. I'm Dwayne Nerona.
I'm Tasha Morrison.
E grazie, benvenuti, e ci vediamo più tardi.
Don't just call me number 5.